This slideshow is about international cooperation. Since the end of World War II, there has been a trend to reduce and eliminate barriers to trade. This has been done through bilateral agreements, which are agreements between two countries, and regional agreements, which are agreements among several countries. The World Trade Organization, or WTO, is a major international organization based in Geneva for the purpose of negotiating trade agreements among countries and enforcing trade agreements. About 160 nations are now members of WTO. The basic principle underlying trade agreements is the principle of trade without discrimination. It used to be called most favored nation, but the term was changed to permanent normal trade relations. It means that the receiving nation will be granted all trade advantages, such as low tariffs, that any other nation also receives. Preferential treatment can be given to developing countries, and concessions can be granted to members within a regional trading alliance. Regional economic integration has 4 stages. The first stage is Free Trade Agreement, or FTA, in which tariffs are lowered and eliminated, quotas are eliminated, and other barriers to trade are eliminated. The next stage is a customs union, in which the countries belonging to the region establish common tariffs with respect to other countries outside the region. The third stage is a common market, in which you have not only free trade, but free mobility of factors such as capital and labor. And finally, you have economic union, which is exemplified by the European Union. Notice that this is an economic union and not, at least not yet, a political union. The effects of eliminating trade barriers are trade creation. Companies who were unable to export before because of the barriers are now able to export, since their prices are now competitive. And trade diversion. Trade shifts to countries within the group, since barriers are lower. The idea for a European Union was suggested by Winston Churchill in 1946. A core of 6 countries signed a trade agreement in 1951. They became a single market by an agreement signed in 1987. The European Union was formed in 1993. A single currency was established in 1999 and has been adopted by 17 countries. The European Union has expanded by adding countries. It now has 27 countries with 500 million people. The main challenges facing the European Union are the transition of new entrants into effective members, the adoption of a new constitution for the Union, the issue of agricultural subsidies, dealing with vastly different economies within the Union, and the financial problems of Ireland, Greece, Spain, and Italy. The North American Free Trade Area, or NAFTA, became effective in 1994 as members of the USA, Canada, and Mexico. NAFTA covers the following areas: market access, trade rules for goods and services, investment rules, protection of intellectual property, and methods for settling disputes. As a result of NAFTA, trade and investment have increased significantly between its members. But there are some issues. One issue is labor standards. There are differences in standards for workers in Mexico and in the U.S. and Canada. They need to be ironed out. There are environmental standards differences between Mexico and Canada and the U.S. And finally, immigration. The fact that there are a number of Mexicans who have immigrated to the U.S. Without documentation, and the fact that we have not really done anything yet about that situation to regularize it. Another example of regional agreement is Mercosur. established in 1991. Its members are Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Venezuela. Combined, it is the fifth largest economy in the world. Its goals are free trade and economic integration. Finally, we have the Pacific Alliance, which was established in 2012. Its members are Chile, Peru, Colombia, and Mexico. Combined, it is the ninth largest economy in the world. It exports about 50% more than Mercosur. Its goals are free trade, economic integration, and orientation toward Asia. Now take the quiz on this slideshow by clicking on the Quiz on Slideshow icon, which is right below the icon you clicked on to view this slideshow.